Hello! Last time this cut off the first 5 minutes of the video, so it may well do the same again. Whoa, what's going on here? Ah, I had a had the video on Chrome. Great. Let's just move the computer just in case. Today I'm doing something a bit different. I'm still drawing the version of this Transformer from the IDW comics, but it's not from Lost Light or More Than Meets the Eye as have been the previous ones. This is Jazz, one of the very first Transformers in the very first episode of the cartoon, very first issue of the comic in the 80s, the Marvel comic, one of the very first toys. Scatman Crothers was his voice. It's amazing. If you don't know who Scatman Crothers is, he was the guy, the kind of caretaker, not the caretaker, well, I don't know what he was actually. He was in The Shining. The guy with the axe. And he was great. He was the guy who introduced the concept to The Shining. Anyway, he was also Hong Kong Phooey, but he's best known to me as Jazz, who was like the cool one out of the Transformers. Cool by 80s standards anyway. This is a special request done for my friend Danny, who's for his kid. His kid's called Finley. He's ace. I don't get to see them anywhere near as much as I should, because, well, for one thing, they live in a different country, but that's so that, you know, they live in the States. That makes it a bit difficult, but, you know, it'd be nice if I could see him a bit more. So, in lieu of being able to go over and travel anytime in the near future, I'm going to do a picture for young Finley. Also, I've been meaning to do one for him for quite some time, and I'd always planned on. Oh, hang on. I'd always planned on doing like a special commission. I started doing one of like Megatron, Starscream, and Soundwave, and it was just garbage. I tried really hard, and it just never worked. Because I stepped outside of my comfort zone and did a kind of more traditional drawing. Which is not, you know, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I do them and they work out fine, and there's, you know, nothing to. I don't want to not be adaptable, but this is kind of where, you know, where my strengths are. So I think I should just do something like this. I don't know what this version of him is meant to be. He's got some kind of weird. Looks like he's got a webcam or something embedded in his head, which he never had in the originals. I'm not really sure what it is. But never mind. Who cares? I'm going to do a mix of the designs from these reference photos. I don't actually have to hand any of the comics that this version of Jazz comes from, so I'm having to wing it a little bit, just using the reference I've got right here, which is fine, I think. Unique out of the characters I've done so far, in that he doesn't have eyes. Well, he does, but they're behind a visor, so that's something. I'm not entirely 100% sure who the artists are on these. I think the top one is probably a guy called, I think he's called Marcello Materi. I don't know how you pronounce his name. The second one is Alex Milne, and I think the third one is E.J. Sue. E.J. Sue was the guy who drew the very first Transformers comics of this new continuity, this IDW published continuity. It's kind of, I don't know if he's like influenced by anime, that kind of mech sort of thing, but his designs all had a kind of they reminded me of Patlabor, the anime that from the 90s, and that was great. But they all also kind of had, I think the trend amongst recent Transformers artists has been to design the robots in such a way as they could actually transform into these vehicles, and that takes it. I mean, there's illustration and there's character design, and then there's like essentially that's like an element of engineering, which is a whole other discipline entirely. And I think it's fairly telling that E.J. Su eventually quit Transformers to go and do work for I think he was like product design or something like that. I think he ended up working like for like a mobile phone firm or something, like designing their tech. And you can kind of understand why, because he's got a gift for it, but it was a sad loss to Transformers. Also, another Transformers artist who's disappeared, and I don't know whether that's just his choice or whether... Well, I don't know. But that's Don Figueroa. There was a bit of... It was weird because he was very popular for a long time. He was one of the guys who came out of the Dreamwave stable, and if you know anything about Dreamwave, you know that they're not well loved as previous holders of the license of Transformers, mostly because they were shady. The guy who ran it, Pat Lee, was just an idiot. And there was all kinds of stuff about people not getting paid for the work they'd done, and blah blah blah. But but Don also Pat Lee was not the artist he thought he was. He was barely competent. But Don Figueroa was a real... He was a treat to see. He was like he drew in the Dreamwave style, which was big, chunky, sort of... You could tell there was a lot of sort of anime influence, and I say that like it's a dirty word, but it's not at all. But it was a certain aesthetic that Transformers had to stick to at that point, because they were the license holders, so they had a house style, and it sucked, to be honest. It sucked a bit to see that happen. But then Don Figueroa moved over to IDW, did the first the limited series was done by E.J. Su. The second limited series was called Stormbringer, and that was done by Don Figueroa, and it was amazing. Written by Simon Furman, writer of the original Transformers from the 80s, the Marvel ones anyway. The Marvel UK ones. And I really liked it. I thought Stormbringer was incredible. But then, with the advent of the Michael Bay movies, you got Don Figueroa started to kind of take some of that on board. He was still pretty, he still did good designs and stuff, but he was starting to draw all the mechanics like really overly complicated, and it's impressive he can do that, but it just didn't feel right, and I think he lost quite a bit of goodwill from people off the back of that, which is a shame. It's a real shame. Anyway, I'm not going to put any music on today, unfortunately, because, well, I mean for me, unfortunately for me, because the plan had been to have some music on to kind of stop me from feeling like it's dead silent. Because I mean, you guys can watch this while you listen to something else, but I can't broadcast certain. Well, I can't broadcast anything I don't own the rights to, and I don't own the rights to anything. I was in a band myself, but you do not want me to play that. The irony being that I have a radio show, and I love music, and I think it's one of the more important things in the world. But you're not going to get to listen to any of the stuff I like, unfortunately. Oh yeah, the main problem was that yesterday I played an album by Tripping Daisy. Recommend you buy it. I always recommend that you buy Tripping Daisy because they're incredible. But and I thought he was being nice and discreet. Turns out he wasn't. Turns out that when I listened back, you could totally hear that music. So I thought, rather than have the wrath of a record company come down on me, I better just avoid using music for the time being. I know there's some royalty-free music, but royalty-free music to use in the background on things. What the hell's happened to the world? Right. Okay, so I'm using like the camera and top part of the head from this image, this kind of split brow. Although I think I might change to that brow, because that split doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Yeah, I'll change that. Get rid of that I've just created. So that whole bit I've just made, I can just forget about now. Or I could if I got that right. There we go. And instead I'll have this that could be better. And this is how it could be better. All these clever tricks in my pocket. Is that a thing? Do you have tricks in your pockets? I do. That seems fine. Just want to shave the edges off here and just make it look a little more natural. That looks okay. The visor actually goes out further. That's better. Okay, so that's still the visor. Got to remember this stuff. It'll come in useful later on, I'm sure. It starts to get a little bit brighter outside. It's been miserable. And since that's the lighting I'm using for this live stream, then it can only be a good thing when it gets brighter. I do love the way the EJC's done that nose there, but that face is so kind of natural looking that I think it would it'd look wrong if I kind of went with that style. Although what I might do here, just there we go, do that, and then no, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that looks okay. I mean, it might look awful when we get rid of the lines, but that's for future Jamie to worry about. Oh yeah, my name is Jamie, by the way. Yeah. It's not exactly hard to find that information. Let's see. I like the idea of him smiling. I haven't drawn. Oh, I've drawn one smile, I think, so far out of this series, which was Nautica in the very first stream I did. That feels far too big for. Yeah, that'll look better. Now, this guy has a very strange head. Actually, I can just replicate that because that's the same. It follows the same rules. Just need to make it larger. I can bring it down a little. Doesn't need to be. We were looking at him straight on. In fact, I should probably bring this down a little as well. And in fact, that can come down a bit. That can come down a lot. Trying to just give an impression of depth. Okay, let's not take that any wider. But if we bring that down there and bring that down there, no. there. Let's get this depth figured out quickly. Actually, I can probably make that a bit higher. And maybe the whole thing a little narrower. While I remember, that's meant to be inset. Just trim that a little. Okay, so a couple of things we need to do. We need to have this, essentially that needs to be the same line as that. No, it doesn't. It needs to be a little more that kind of angle. Okay, so a bit of precision needed here. Now that looks like it's bang on, but I bet it won't be, so I'll put a little bit of an angle extra on there. Following the same angle, more or less at least. No one's going to be crying if it's not. And now just join these up. Get rid of that. We're done. Oops. Copy paste. Reflect. I do this so often. Copy paste and reflect is like my motto. And what we can have is, actually I'll get rid of these straight points. There's no point in having them right now. Delete, 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 delete. Oh, there's so many. Okay, we're done. Oh, actually, while I'm here, I'll just get rid of that. This can be slightly inset again, like the above. So, delete that, and a little shape's been made there that we don't need. And then maybe just behind this, have that for some 3D effect. There. So now you know it's 3D. This looks like it's a little... Does it go out a little? Okay. Let's stick with this. Stick it to there. There. There and there. But I've got this angle here. So let's have it follow this line here. There. It intersects with that line. Should do. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Or would it be better just to have this like that? Then we can bring this down a little bit because it looks a bit forced. Okay, that's good. Maybe bring it in a touch. And maybe up. There, that's better. Copy paste, reflect. That wasn't what I wanted to line it up with, was it? Yikes. Making all kinds of mistakes here. That shouldn't have happened. How's that happened? What is going on here? Oh, you're kidding me. There's a slight there. Look at this. Damn it. This sort of stuff absolutely kills me. Because once a little bit of it is off, the whole thing's off. And it just looks so wrong. Let's just hope that I get the right part when I'm trying to make it symmetrical now. I want this to meet there. Okay. It'll be all alright anyway. I'm gonna delete half of this and reflect it instead. Be on the safe side. Give this some 3D. Copy paste, reflect. Yarp. Okay, what else has he got? He's got some big old kind of triangle things. I like these versions best. In fact, let's see if we can do something with this shape that we've got going on here. It's not going to be exactly the same. Going to be barely the same at all, if I'm honest. That would need to be there. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Oh, yes, it did. Just that it went. There we go, that's better. Let's forget that to meet that there. Now I want to reflect this one horizontally, on the horizontal axis. So I can put it here, and then trim that bottom bit off there. Maybe I want to make it a little bit longer. And if I want, I can pull it out a bit, give it some more depth. See, this is why this bit's a bit of an impediment, shall we say. let's not mess with that. That's looking alright at the moment. And that's a fairly easy way of doing an indent. Instant 3D. We'll take a little cut out of that. No, just out of that bit. Oh, why did that not work? Because we didn't intersect it with that. Oh, we didn't intersect any of it. Okay, there we go. Well, always getting stormy out. Getting very stormy. Okay, well, I'm going to get rid of those. Get rid of those. And I'm going to bring this whole bit. Damn it. Not that. Let's lock every piece here. Let's see if we can just bring this in. Yeah, that's better. Oops. I'm kind of winging it here, but I feel like it's going to work. I feel like it's going to look okay. I don't often improvise, but I also don't often draw jazz, which has been a little more difficult than I expected. The problem always with Transformers is like they've got so many bits to them. If you see what I mean, that's a bit obvious, but luckily there's so many variations on them that you can just you can essentially use the basic building blocks and create your own version, and it's just as valid. In fact, the Transformers comic back in what, 2010, that kind of era, it was chaos. I mean, there was actually a series called Chaos, but it wasn't that. It was there were so many artists working on it at any one time that it was really hard to. Like, no one had a definitive version. Like, there were no like 1 minute Bumblebee would look like he did in the 80s, and the next he'd have a different face, turn into a different car, he'd have a spoiler, and then the month after he'd go back to how he used to be. And that's just bizarre. I don't know how they did it, I don't know why they did it. Deadlines, maybe? I can only imagine it was just a case of everyone had a deadline to hit and they just had to get multiple interpretations, and it's just one of those things that happens, I guess. No, that looks wrong. Oh, that didn't look bad being down there, that's fine. We can put those kind of... Let's only put 2 down here. I'm just going to get rid of that. You shouldn't be able to see it there anyway. I realise I'm biting my lip a lot and putting my tongue out. Habit. Which I never knew I had. Until just now. Okay. I am going to make an executive decision right now, and I'm going to make all of this go higher. Don't know why it's got that as well, but okay, I'll just put it down. I meant to do that as well. Maybe bring that in. I did put a poll up yesterday, but I don't know how you find the results of it on YouTube, because I did it as like a card to come up at the end of the video. I mean, I'm optimistic given my viewing figures that anyone's even voted on it, but in case anyone did, I don't know who got voted as the Transformer I should draw next. That said, I don't remember ever seeing a thing to say how long the poll would run either, so maybe it's just nonsense. Oh, what am I doing? What's going on here, right? Right, that's looking up, that's looking forward, that's looking up at a certain angle. That's kind of 45 degrees. And then from then on I've made it up, haven't I? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And let's just bring this higher. And all of this should now go to there. Can get rid of that. And I'll just delete this, but I'm going to put it back. So now that's going to intersect there. This is going to intersect here. This is going to come across here. This is why I tend not to like it when things don't, when points don't meet and when shapes don't converge nicely, because it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. It feels like I've missed something, or something hasn't been properly planned. This wants to be dead straight. I am still trying to keep these videos down to 90 minutes where possible, but apologies if I don't. If you've got nothing better to do with your Friday night, I am sincerely sorry that this has ended up being what's happening to you. What is being happening to you? What the hell? What kind of English was that? There we go. Not sure if that looks any good, if I'm honest. Maybe if I pull them out and then put the whole thing in. Couple of points up and down. Ah, that's why it looks wrong. It's not following perspective. Still looks a bit wonky. Does that look any better? Maybe the whole lot needs to be slightly tilted. Maybe that's the problem. Or maybe I'm the problem. Did I ever think of that? I'm just going to delete them all. You can have a smooth side, but just for the sake of giving him something to I'm thinking that's just not how it should go. I don't know. Let's just have a 2D version. Want is for this to be at least very roughly on the same axis, not axis, angle. There. There, they don't need to do anything, just look cool. You know what I'm thinking? Out of everything I've done here, if I get rid of, if I lock those, drag all of that up, also fix this while I'm at it. No, that's the one I want to lock now. No, it isn't, because I want this. That can't be on 2 levels, that has to be on, that has to line up, that line, that dot there needs to line up with this line. Well, very nearly anyway. Or we could put some height on it, which I think is a better idea. So let's forget what I just did there. I want to create a box that is as wide as that. Okay. Send it to the back and then split these up. And then recombine them. This is going somewhere, I promise. Oh. What better would be, let's yeah, these want to meet with that. Yeah? Okay. Right, now, save. God, I haven't saved yet. If you're watching and you want to comment, by the way, I'm happy to respond verbally to chat. So fire away if you've got any questions about the process, Transformers in general, how much I like dogs, you know, that kind of thing. I can actually answer the dogs one. I love dogs so much. And yet, I don't own one. Right, his body is odd. But they all are, because they're people, robots that turn into cars, not people. Well, they do call themselves people in the new comics. They describe, you know, they say, well, they are described as people, which I think is fair enough. They're alive. You don't have to say human. Here, there's going to be. I'll just put that there. So this guy turns into a Porsche, apparently. But that's what Jeremy Clarkson says, Porsche. And even though it's correct, can't stand the man, so Porsche. Well, at least he historically has turned into a Porsche. I don't know if he does in this continuity, because it's, you know, Porsche 911. It's not a big. You know, it's not. I mean, it's still a thing, but this was like the 80s, and like everyone. You had the Porsche 911, and you had the Ferrari Testarossa. They were the big ones. If you had those in your collection of micro machines, then you were doing well. Oh, I didn't quite make that entirely straight, but that's fine. What's the best way to do some curves? I feel like he needs. I'll just do a curve, I guess. Again, very much kind of making this up on the hoof now, because I'm not entirely convinced I'm getting any of his design right. So I'll just make bits that look a bit like a car, or it could be potentially a Porsche. So I should probably put a curve on that. And then maybe this as well. See where that leaves us. I mean, it could look awful. I don't think it looks too bad. Let's get rid of this for now. Let's just assume that this is on a curve. It's kind of a curve on a curve. You see why I normally stick to straight lines. Voila. Get rid of that now. Actually, it looks awful, doesn't it? That might have to do. Yeah, that'll do. Kind of backpacky thing. It's another backpack. I don't know what it is. And let's just put hint of a curve coming in from here. Now, of course, what I've done here is not made it equal. Across both sides. Guess that'll do. Gotta stop saying that. That'll do. That's fine. That'll do. Compromise is essentially what I'm saying. Oh, it's not white. That's why. Ah, that's also why. Is that it's not a full shape. Okay, this could look quite good actually. We'll see. Time to do some reflecting. I can get rid of that. And obviously that. All of this. And that. And the nose. And the chin. Oh. And these top bits here that I missed. Okay, everything else. Group that. Copy, paste in front. Reflect. No, I'm still on reflect horizontal. Reflect vertical. And cutting it fine as far as getting everything done by 90 minutes. I don't think I'm going to do it this time. This is looking okay, I think. Get rid of that. Some extra points. I hate that. This is why you should only ever draw straight lines. Tell your art tutors. get rid of those. Just clean this whole thing up a bit. Oh, damn it, I didn't even... Right, never mind, I don't need that. No! How did that happen? Didn't intersect. There we go. Right, that's better. That's more like it. Now this whole bit, I can reflex and replace the bit at the other side. Saves a bit of time. Come on, there we go. You know what I've completely missed? There's just something that his neck goes into, and his neck in general. I just totally forgot to put that in. Let's just make it relatively basic. I don't know what's going on with that face there. Maybe I just forgot to... I don't know what I forgot. That's meant to be the central point. Oh, everything's a little bit off centre. That's gonna drive me insane. Oh, well, that's not helping. The chin was already something that I needed to reflect, and I didn't. But look at that. There's a big line right the way through. This is the centre. So... oh god. I've screwed up! And I'm gonna have to live with it. Because there's nothing else I can do right now. It's too late. No going back. Death or glory. Etc. Is it time? Right. I think it's time that I divided all of these shapes up. Well, I say all of them, not every one of them. For now, just the face, head. And that should do it. This is forever going to reek of failure for me now. This tiny little stupid line. I mean, technically it's easier to... it's easy to do. Make that kind of odd mistake. You've only got to be like a millimetre out or something like that, but this is a big one for me. Whatever, I don't even care. The important thing is it'll look okay and Finley will probably like it. I might even like it, you never know. And I hope you like it, obviously. All of you wonderful people. All 4 of you, apparently. You know, it would probably be smarter than the way I'm doing it would be to do all this stuff and then reflect it, wouldn't it? Lesson learned for next time. The question you've got to ask yourself when you've made these little errors is which bit's going to look wonky, because it's all there, it's just some of it's overlapping, so technically that needs to be part of that, obviously. So that means all of that is now the visor, and it wouldn't have been before. This would have been part of, you see. Yeah, because the visor goes to there. No, that's part of that, whatever that is. Same. No, that's all part of the same piece. But you got to make these little decisions based on one error. It causes you quite a bit of trouble. This bit, I think, is going to be fine, because I don't think this was affected. Doesn't mean to say it's not going to be a pain in the ass in every other way, though. combining circular shapes. Not fun. And connect that. Oh, oh, and that. That shouldn't. Oh yeah, it does. I normally start these at 8 o'clock, but we finish an hour early at the day job on a Friday, so I have the chance to start early. It's a... Oh, no I didn't. I did make an error. Damn. Oh, that's just... Alright. This time I can kind of... Can I fix it though? Yeah, I think I can. Oh god, maybe I can't. Anyway, yeah, the main reason I'm starting early is that I want to finish while it's still light. And also, Castlevania, I think, is just is out on Netflix. I think it started today. All episodes online, and that's something I want to watch. Nah, I'm a little bit lost now. I'm not sure where everything is. Oh, this is confusing. Is there anything there? It's also sometimes hard to tell if there is even a shape there or if you're just looking at empty space because it's all black and white. Maybe I should just work in placeholder colours. There's probably smarter ways of doing this. There's always a smarter way of doing something, especially if you're me. What you really don't want to do is accidentally delete something that's like crucial. See that? Oh no, that's right. That should be in line with that. But clearly there was no space, there was nothing there. Oh, what is that? It's just a line. What a mess! And it's the same here. Oh god, damn it. And it's there. It's everywhere. mess. There's going to be endless amounts of little lines that are going to just be showing through. Why is there's nothing there? Oh no, that was I've locked that. That's fine. So, oh no, I haven't. Damn it. So if I make everything blue, at least I know where things are. And combine the odd bit here and there, save some space. Yeah, save some time. That wants to be part of that, and that's part of that. I'm counting it as a small victory now every time. Oh damn it! No, I didn't want to be there. They're all part of the same shape, and this is its own shape, and this is its own shape. That's better. I'm probably the only one who cares whether this looks right or not, whether it looks precise or not. I'm not going to insult people with OCD by saying that I've got OCD, because that's not what it is. But I am quite particular. Right, maybe this is a simple way of doing it. Good idea would be to get rid of these tiny little slivers and then just leave the big shapes. Right, hopefully the last bit of fixing I'm going to need to do for the time being is this line here. There's probably a bit more I'll need to do at some point, but this is routine now. No, I'm going to make this easier. I've already made life hard enough. Okay, we're at a point now where we can start actually doing the colours properly. Oh no, not a couple of the last bits. No, that's the one shape. And there. So, the parts that we want to be kind of white grey are those parts and these parts. So let's just temporarily give them that colour. These we want to be, well, we want them to be blue and they already are, but we'll give them a more appealing blue. All of this. Oh, missed a combining. There we go. All of this. This as well. This. These all want to be dark grey. I feel like there's some bits I need to fix. I'll do those quickly while I'm here. Oh, that's not fixing, that's making things worse. Let's fix that. And this is the problem. This has been the problem right from the start by the looks of things. That this wasn't a straight line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept that one shape is going to be slightly askew and it's throwing the rest off. No, I got rid of the wrong bit. Maybe I can combine these two parts. No. In the preview window here, that's just a straight line. And I didn't lose anything by deleting it, so that's fine. These need to be grey as well, actually. And, well, they are part of the face, so I'll make those grey as well. Grey, grey, grey. Grey, grey, grey. All this is going to be some variation of white. That could be a challenge. Let's call that grey, call that white. These are going to be different, maybe a lighter version of grey. These all need to be a different kind of blue. Did I paint that white? I think I did, yes. So now, alright. Now we're getting somewhere. Kind of. That's going to be the darkest blue that we're going to use, so let's do that. These are going to be a lot versions of that aren't in shadow, so something like that. This needs to be less sky blue. No, that's not so bad. I like the shading that Alex Mills, well, got on, he didn't do it, I don't think. It'll have been the colourist. Judging by who he collaborates with, it's probably Josh Perez. But anyway, I like the version, I like the colouring on what they've done there. And make that a darker version. You wouldn't really immediately think brown for shading on white, but I quite like the way that looks. And then something midway, and again there. These two are also that colour. These need to be connected, and let's have that light colour again. These are in shadow, also there. Also of that. Now let's not go for the brown on that. Let's kind of keep this in the blue sort of realm. We'll add more shading colours to this in a bit. maybe this should be the darkest black. Maybe that should also be that. Kind of like it gets lost. That might be too much, but we'll see. They actually need to be connected, so do they. I think all these greys should be slightly darker than they are. That could be the highlight colour, that's fine. This is going to be fun, and I say that ironically. It's not. Trying to find this many versions of grey. At least now I found a decent mid-grey. Maybe I could do those in mid-grey? No, that's too much. That can be mid-grey, that can be... I'm going to need to find a darker version. That could help things. Yeah, that's not too bad. That probably needs to be much lighter. It's like the top of his head. Yeah, too much red in it. Let's bring the red down a little. This is not actually drawing. I drew IDW Ultra Magnus without a picture of him in front. drawing doesn't always mean you have to create it from memory. I mean, that's what I always used to do, and everything was slightly off. You need reference, right? All professional illustrators use reference. Otherwise, you don't know what you're actually drawing, if it is accurate. I mean, you could argue it's not drawing because it's building with shapes, I could understand that, but using reference is just a basic tool. All artists do. Some kind of gold colour. Greeny gold. You can't even see what I did there really, but it will look good eventually. Promise. Don't like that blue. That's better. Okay, a little bit more, some darkness on that. Let's see how it looks when, oh hang on. See how it looks when I take some of the, I'll take the colour, the black lines away. In a second. I've apparently locked something. There we go. Okay, it's taken away some of the impact of it. But that's to be expected. Just give this a little bit of something. To mark it out. I just do that as not that dark, but a darker colour. Something we've already got anyway. Oh, for God's sake, even that was slightly off. Oh! Error, error, error. All kinds of errors. Now I've got to do something about this and actually create shapes from scratch that they're going to look a little wonky. But that's fine. Well, it's not fine at all. It's terrible. I wonder if I do that now. Maybe I could break these up and that could be that grey, yeah. It is a bit of a weird angle anyway, so it's not too bizarre to see. I don't know what a darker version of that would be. Oops. That's probably better. Oh no, it needs to be the same colour as that, really. to do. Maybe just leave it. It's too green, isn't it, that shade? Certainly on there it is anyway. Let's just... If the rest of it's going to be kind of brown, I probably should... No. I'll leave it like that, that's fine. Oops. Let's give him a background. Something completely different to the rest of the colours. And of course, as loath as I am to do this, let's just stretch it over a little bit so it actually covers the canvas. This is where my problem was, wasn't it? Oh no, I've already identified many parts where the problem was. Oh yeah, I think I said you could barely notice, yeah. Even I could barely notice it, so make it a little bit more noticeable. one thing I'd kind of forgotten. I could keep tweaking this forever, but I'm not gonna, because it's 2 hours in already. This is a 2-hour video, and I think that's beyond what everyone can be bothered with. So, last thing I do, put a gradient on it. Monster, monster, monster. Let's see what a colour dodge looks like. Whoa, quite strong. But I like that. Yeah. Okay. Delete reference. How did I spell my name there? Put it there like it's the sponsor. It's probably not central, but hey, what is today? And save. Guys, if you've been watching, thank you for watching. Thanks for commenting, Knights of Iacon. I don't know what to say. It is a drawing. Sorry. And I possibly will be doing some more this weekend. I might actually have a bit of a break, but we'll see. Just keep an eye out if you're interested. Let me know. Thanks everyone.